I've got a surprise for you folks today. I'm going to take you to this hidden archaeological site in the Sandia Mountains. So come along with us on the hike. I'll tell you a little bit about some of the history up here, show you some pretty incredible views. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to get here if you're interested. Stick around for that. All right, as you can see here, this is the Sandia Cave Trail. And so we're going to be visiting, a cave. It's a pretty cool place to check out. This is a lot of fun, and I haven't been here in years. So here's a little background. The story starts all the way back in 1937. There was a young archaeology student from the University of New Mexico. He was up here exploring, and he stumbled upon a discovery that would make international headlines. It ultimately became known as one of science's most notorious scandals. It was a site that would change his life forever. It's unfortunate to see graffiti up here. Now, as you take this hike, there is a gradual incline up. You are navigating on the side of the cliff, but it's a really gradual slope, so I found it to be pretty easy. Now, this young student was named Frank Hibben. Here's a picture of him here. What he initially found at the site was pottery shards and stone tools, pretty typical at the cave's entrance, nothing too unusual. But as he began exploring deeper into the hidden cave, he discovered something extraordinary, ancient spear points and tools that were buried beneath layers of the geological deposits. And he claimed that there was suggestion of incredible age. His discovery kicked off an archaeological excavation that lasted until 1941. He found these unique stone spear points. At least this was his claim. Here's a photo. He called them Sandia points. And they were supposedly in a unique shape that had never been seen before. So he made the claim that these findings were from an astounding 25,000 years ago. Now, at the time, he stated it was based on the geological layers in which they were found and Ice Age animal bones that were found in the area as well. This was more than twice as old as anything anyone had ever found in North America. He's the one that coined the phrase Sandia Man. And he declared that these were the very first known humans on the continent. His findings were published in many academic journals, and in 1940, even Time magazine reported news of this event that shook the world of archaeology. It put this little area of New Mexico on the map. Now, for decades, Sandia Man sat in textbooks as scientific fact. However, even from early on, colleagues were questioning his findings, and they said he used questionable tactics and was possibly planting artifacts. So this hike is pretty easy. It's about a half a mile with a gentle incline, but you do need to know that you're hiking on the side of a cliff, and there is some sharp drop-offs. So just keep that in mind if you're a little bit scared of heights, or if you have little ones with you, you're going to want to be a little bit careful. So I'll show you an example here. Basically, through the years, other archaeologists were unable to corroborate his evidence, and by the 1990s, they ended up publicizing accusations of him doctoring his research and findings. Wonder what used to be posted here? I don't know. But where we're going is right there on that cliff up there. The conclusion now is that one of archaeology's most celebrated discoveries was actually one of its biggest hoaxes. The Sandia Man vanished from textbooks, and even the bronze plaque that celebrated Hibben's find was quietly removed from this very spot. So this here right here sometimes has water, but right now there's none. Nice little ravine here in the corner, and you can see all the granite from the Sandia Mountains. Now, even though this was such a controversy, it is worth noting that this cave is still quite significant. The scientific thinking now was that this cave was intermittently occupied by various indigenous groups over the last 10,000 years. primarily as a temporary shelter or a hunting camp. So that's still a really long time ago and still a really cool spot. And we go up some steps, gain a little bit of elevation here. Gorgeous views. This is the destination right here. It's the Sandia Cave. Now, I grew up calling it the Sandia Man Cave, and we're going to go inside and see what we can see up there. Now, these are some pretty steep steps, but the handrails are nice. So let's go up. Now, I actually noticed another cave along this cliff wall a little farther down the canyon. So who knows what these were all used for. Looks things. I'm happy to report the cave is open for exploration. So you can go in the initial cave, and somebody there had a flashlight. I did not think to bring a flashlight, and so you may want to bring one when you visit. There's a little bit of a wall in the back. You can hop over it, and then it's really sandy. You can go way back there, and some people we saw on the trail said that they saw bats back in there. So lots to explore. I don't even know how far back it goes. Come on up, take some great pictures, and enjoy the incredible views. My camera was on a gimbal and it was dark, and so I didn't recognize that I was kind of pointing my camera up towards the ceiling, but I eventually get the camera pointing in the right direction. And there is a little bit of a wall back here, kind of a half-sized wall, probably man-made to keep people from getting even farther. But now here you can see it. I didn't quite point my camera correctly. I'll show it to you again. It's a pretty decent drop-off, and it gets real sandy, and you can go way on back.
That's like the worst conflict of interest ever.
I don't think I want to get that dusty, so I'm going to stay here.
A little north of Minneapolis.
But you can explore to your heart's content in here in the man cave. Once you're in the cave and then you turn around to look out, it is so beautiful. This is a really spectacular place to come and visit. So now we head on back. These last steps by the cave are pretty eroded, so you're going to want to watch your step when you come down. Overall, it's an easy hike. It's a half-mile to the cave and a half-mile back out, and nothing too steep with stairs with the handrail, so it is very manageable to come up here. However, the road is rough. Now, we made it on a passenger car. It is doable, but you have to go very slow. It's very rocky, and it has not been maintained. They make it very clear that this road does not get maintained. So just be aware of that. If you have a four-wheel drive or a high clearance vehicle, that would be preferred. But we did it in a sedan, so it is doable. And note, I am kind of huffing and puffing. This is high elevation here in the Sandia Mountains. So if you're from out of town and you're not used to it, you may get a bit winded, but it is totally worth it to come up here. When we arrived, there were tons of butterflies in this parking lot area, and now that we came down from the hike, I can't find hardly any. So maybe because it's a little bit hotter in the afternoon. So don't delay if you want to get pictures or footage of the butterflies if you see them. grab them while they're out. Now from the parking lot, I think if you cross the street and you go down this path here, you're gonna find a stream. That's what I remember. Let's go see. There it is, the water. It's so beautiful. There's some butterflies hanging out over here. It is so overgrown. Now to get here, you're going to take 165 up through Placitas. You're going to see several warning signs that says the road is very mountainous and has not been maintained. And true, it hasn't been maintained, but it's not too bad as long as you go slow right up to the Sandia Man Cave. And when the road turns to dirt, it is 3 miles back here to the turnoff.